Customer experience principle number 10. When it comes to customer journey mapping, the map is not really the point. I was once responding to an RFP, and within the RFP, the organisation said, yeah, we want you to do customer experience for us or help us with our customer experience management, but we don't want you to do any customer journey mapping. So I quickly picked up the phone and I rang them and I said, hope you don't mind me asking, but why don't you want me to do customer journey mapping? Because it is an absolutely essential and integral part of what we do. And they said, well, the reason is because we've done 3 journey mapping exercises before and nothing changed. And I went, okay, let me come and see you. So I jumped in the car and I drove down and I saw them in their offices, and I walked into the room and they pulled out these 3 beautiful journey maps that they laid across the conference room table. And they said, these are the 3 journey maps we created. And I said, okay, they're very nice, but once you had these journey maps in place, what did you do next? And they went, nothing. This is part of the problem that we have within the customer experience sector, is that there are so many people who are consultants, who are positioning themselves as customer experience experts, and they understand parts of what they're doing, but they don't necessarily understand the whole part. And I explained to this organisation that when you do journey mapping, the map isn't really the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is the identification of issues and opportunities across the journey that we will then use to transform the business. So when I do customer journey mapping, we look for 4 things. At every stage and step of the customer's journey, we look for pain points, moments of truth, commercial opportunities, and wow opportunities. And it is these 4 different categories of issue and opportunity that we then throw forward into transformation activity. So let me go through what those things are. A pain point is a delivery low point from the customer's perspective. Usually if the customer is experiencing a delivery low point, the business is as well. Secondly, there is a moment of truth. Now, a moment of truth is an expectation high point. This is a point in the journey at which the customer will judge their overall experience. One of the earlier principles was about customer experience only being as strong as the weakest link. If your weakest link within the journey, if your weakest interaction with a customer is a moment of truth, which is an expectation high point from their perspective, is something the customer's actively going to judge you against, then you're going to end up with a bit of a problem. So that's why certain interactions across the journey are considered to be moments of truth, because these are the interactions at which the customer's expectations are at their highest, and these are the interactions that they will judge their overall experience based on. Let me give you an example. Insurance. If you buy insurance and you use insurance from a company, within the insurance industry, the moment of truth is usually the claims process, because most people aren't that interested in insurance. They buy it because they need it. The only time when the insurance becomes relevant to them is the point at which they're making a claim. And if the point at which they're making a claim, they have a bad experience, they get their claim turned down, etc., etc., that is going to be a moment of truth for them. That is going to be the expectation high point at that particular moment in the journey. As well as pain points and moments of truth, there are also commercial opportunities. These are opportunities to upsell and cross-sell. Now, some people might say, well, selling to the customer isn't a great experience. I disagree. If you try and sell everything to the customer willy-nilly, you're going to upset the customer, of course you are. But if at a particular moment in the journey you try and sell them something which is relevant to them, which is going to improve their overall experience, the customer's actually going to be happy. Oh, I'm really glad that you sold me, British Airways take off and they're pushing their trolley down the aisle, and the customer's really thirsty, and they say, okay, would you like to buy a cup of tea? At that particular moment in the journey, the customer might be really happy. Their overall experience might be improved as a result of them purchasing at that particular moment in time. So we shouldn't think about sales as being something negative within the experience. They can be potentially positive and contribute to the overall customer experience as well. And of course, finally, there are wow opportunities. Now, we've got to be quite careful when it comes to wowing the customer. Some people talk about the fact that customer experience has become a bit of a religion, and a lot of people say, well, you must exceed the customer's expectations at every single opportunity. That is, in my opinion, wrong. If you exceed the customer's expectations at every time in the journey, the bar is going to be raised too high. I know that iPhone did this many years ago. They launched a product, I think it was the iPhone 3. Then when they launched the iPhone 4, the iPhone 4 was so much better than the iPhone 3. Customers' expectations were suddenly enormously increased. And then they raised the bar too high from an expectations perspective. And then a year later, Apple launched the iPhone 5. And the iPhone 5 wasn't significantly better than the iPhone 4. Because the 4 was better than the 3, they had overwowed the customer. And then because the 5 wasn't significantly better than the 4, customers felt as if they had been let down. So it's important that we don't overwow customers. It's important that we look for specific points in the journey where we should wow customers based on the fact that at that particular point they will really appreciate the fact that you are exceeding their expectations. So coming back to the original point, with customer journey mapping, the map is not the point, it's the identification of issues and opportunities. And when I say that, I mean pain points, moments of truth, commercial opportunities, and wow opportunities.